Hello everyone! So I'm making this video because I've studied ancient Greek and Latin for 10 years. I started when I was 13 years old, and you have no idea about how many times I was asked, so what's the reason? Why did you do it? Why would a person study that language anyways? So in short, my entire life wouldn't make any sense if there weren't good reasons for studying ancient languages, and you might be watching this video because you're wondering about what you want to do of your life, or because you need to pick a subject in school and are thinking, oh, you know what, why don't I do some Latin or ancient Greek? Or maybe you're just a physicist or a mathematician and are thinking, why do people really study ancient languages? They're so useless. First of all, no judgment. It's completely fair to be asking yourself, why do people study ancient languages? And that's, I think, because the main reason why people want to learn a language is because they want to be able to speak it, and that's impossible with that language. To be completely honest, there are still some clusters of people that meet and talk in Latin or ancient Greek. I swear I saw some when I was studying in Oxford, but that's more of an academic exercise, so it doesn't count like speaking a language, like going to Italy to speak Latin. That wouldn't work. So let's get started. The first reason I could think of is a very important one. Languages can be gateways into different worlds, and that's very important for ancient languages. And that's because they had so many words that we struggle to translate into modern languages. And those words can tell us so much about their culture. Why did they have those specific words that we don't have today? To give an example, the ancient Greeks had a word which is philoxenia, which is normally translated in English as hospitality, but it had such a deeper meaning in Greek culture. It was an unspoken law, which meant that you had to be generous and nice towards strangers. And there is a reason if they had that word and if we don't have it today. Okay, so once we've agreed that studying ancient languages can make you travel 2000 plus years back in time, one might say, okay, but why don't we just use the many translations that people have come up with in the past centuries? And that's a very good point. However, I have to say that understanding the ancient cultures through translations make you lose a lot. And that's mostly because translations depend on the translator's cultural background or knowledge or interests. There are a lot of ancient words that can be translated a way or another, and it's basically just up to the translator to choose what word it suits them best. And this is going to happen to you as well. So when you learn ancient Greek or Latin, you're going to give your own interpretation to the words of the ancient Greeks or Romans. But I think it's more satisfactory to have your own interpretation of words rather than just taking someone else's approach or interpretation and just read it. So the third reason I think is my favorite one, and it gets me very excited. And I'm talking about philology. Philology is the discipline that studies how a language evolved into another one. And when you know ancient Greek and Latin, you'll be so surprised to see how much our modern languages have in common with ancient languages. To give you an example, in English, the word biology comes from two Greek words. Bios, which means life, and logos, which means discourse or word. And it just makes sense because biology is the science that studies life in all its forms. So by studying ancient languages, you just understand so much more about the language you speak in your daily life. Fourth reason, and very important, the ancient Greek alphabet is so pretty. The fifth reason is the one I feel very close to, and it's because I'm an archaeologist. So even though I studied ancient languages since I was 13 years old, I took classical archaeology as my university degree. And it's just amazing to be able to read all the messages that the classical civilizations sent us through different media, like vases or tombstones. And it's very exciting to be able to go to a museum and to read those inscriptions without having to, use the ID tag that the museum gave you. Sixth reason, if you're thinking of learning modern Greek, Knowing ancient Greek will just help you a lot. Although the ancient Greek alphabet looks very scary, I promise you know half of it already, just because it's used elsewhere very often, like in maths or physics. There are so many formulas that use sigmas or rhos or other ancient Greek letters. So don't worry, that's easy. And okay, studying ancient Greek and Latin is not easy. There are so many grammatical rules and so many words that don't even follow those rules and are just irregular, and you'll have to learn them one by one. But if you sign up for Latin and ancient Greek, it means you're not signing up for regular, and you'll just be outstanding and amazing. So go for it! I hope this was useful for at least some of you, and that now you know that there are some good reasons to study ancient languages. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel Archaeology and watch my other videos if you're interested to learn more about ancient cultures. So not only about the language, but also about what they did in their daily lives and what artworks they produced and a lot more. Bye!